I think we're about halfway through our memory card space here before we have to flip cards, but this is the third episode that we're rolling out this year, so I'm going to do this one a little bit different. I'm just going to kind of blend two hunts into this one since I was sort of involved in both and they happened sort of around the same time. So the first one is actually I was behind the gun and the camera trying to sell film. I went with Dad back to the same spot where he shot the turkey opening weekend and didn't get it. But I was actually, over at his place on a weekday one morning because I was working from home. So we figured, if we've got a couple hours, we can make it out and try to get on a bird at least before we got to clock in for the day. Because, that time of year it gets daylight pretty early and you can get it done and be back to the house by 7:30. So, that was kind of what we had in mind. We had we had some pretty good intentions on where we wanted to go because, opening weekend we had hurt several birds. We even seen another gobbler that we didn't kill. So we kind of just snuck back into that spot really early, got set up, and as it always happens at that spot, we had a bird right on top of us right at daylight, and that bird come in. Like I said, I was self-filming. I had my tripod set up, had my gun ready. That bird come in pretty quick, come up to the left, which is where the first bird came up on Dad opening weekend, and he, didn't shoot that bird. So a pretty good chance it may be the same bird. He came up in the same spot, strutted out there and gobbled. I would soft call, he would answer me, but he never would commit to coming out our direction. And I think there's a really big tree right on top of the ridge, and I think that was kind of blocking his view of our decoy set. But I watched him for a little bit, but he came up into a spot where I didn't feel comfortable enough to switch the camera around, so I just kind of kept it recording. At that point, I was capturing audio. Didn't have my GoPro that morning, so no kill shot this time. But what finally got that turkey to break, he had been gobbling and been strutting for probably 15 minutes or so, and I finally just quit calling. I quit the soft calling and just shut up to make him think that hen had kind of skirted and got more on down in the holler from where we were set up. So this turkey finally breaks and starts coming, and you can hear me say it on the video, he's coming, and I tell Dad, I say, I'm gonna let him come. He kind of broke around that big tree, and I don't know if he spotted us or seen something he didn't like. It's probably where I'd been soft calling. He looked down that direction and didn't see no hen there. So I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if he picked us out or if he, if he just got a little spooked because he didn't see no hen. But he started putting a little bit and started turning and going back the other way. And I told Dad, I said, he's putting, I'm gonna have to make a shot. So I grabbed my gun off my knee, pull up. He gets behind that big tree I was talking about on the ridge, and one step to the right, and he would have broke over to where I couldn't see him. But the good Lord blessed me with an opportunity, because when he come around the backside of that tree, his neck was stretched, and he was, that's all I could see was his head, which I obviously knew it was him. He had gobbled all morning, and that big red, white, and blue head comes out. You know what it is. So, that was the only shot I had. As soon as he come out, I took it, and as soon as he went down, I seen wings come up, and it was a done deal. Me and Dad was able to get some good footage after the fact. It was a beautiful morning. The sun was just starting to shine through and hit the ridge. And a pretty good turkey. I think it had right at 1.25 inch spurs, and beard was a little short. It was just, I think, 8.5 or 9 inch beard. I can't remember right off, but it was a really good bird, and I'm pretty confident that it was probably that same bird, just considering he did the same thing. But that kind of wrapped up that hunt. There wasn't really a lot of footage to go along with that one, so I'm going to break on over into that weekend. My dad and I decided to try a different spot. We usually go to that honey hole spot. It had already produced 2 birds. One of them we didn't recover, so we just decided to go to a different spot. So we got in there early that morning. Didn't hear much gobbling. We were using the crow call, owl hoot, and we was trying to locate one. Didn't hear much. So we kind of skirted down this old logging road, went down to the bottom of the hill, and once you get to the bottom, it starts opening up into some big fields. And we got down there, and at this point, it was starting to get pretty daylight, so we knew we needed to get set up pretty quick. I remember Dad hit the crow call, and there were several birds, out toward the end of one of them fields, up one of them hollers. They lit it up as soon as he hit that crow call. So we scurried across down through there and got set up basically in a briar thicket. I don't even think we had a very good tree to set up in, but we tucked in the best we could and started calling. And every time I would call, those birds would answer. We actually even heard a buddy of ours shoot that morning on a neighboring property, and they actually gobbled at his gunshot, and we could tell there was at least 2 birds, maybe more than that, but at least 2 birds that was gobbling just in sequence. Every time they'd gobble, they would both gobble. Or you think I can move it? No, I wouldn't. I ain't gonna risk it. God dang it. It's real swampy in there. Maybe they'll think it's a breeding hen. Oh God, get ready. Can you see them? Just get ready, they'll see it. Jacob, don't move. Should I call? Do what? Maybe not. Should I call or not? What? Do what? They're close. I don't want to. I'm going to hear a soft call. We're behind this tree. They're coming to the field. Just stay still.
Let it go. Let it go. No, not yet, not yet. Shoot that, shoot that. You got him, you got him, you got him. Go get on him.
I was calling to them for a pretty good while, and it got loud enough I felt confident they were probably on the ground. So kept calling, and they had kind of gone quiet for a few minutes, and I didn't know what to do at that point. I just kind of hushed myself, and all of a sudden they gobbled again, and they were just right on the hill that was right back behind us. And Dad kept saying, they're going to get behind us, they're going to get behind us. And I just tried to keep him confident, tried to keep him there on the gun and ready, because you never know what these turkeys are going to do. And luckily the hill they were on, they could kind of see our decoy set, from up on that ridge. But that brings me to another point. We were sitting there early on in the hunt, and I still pretty much getting my camera gear set up, and Dad said, the hen fell over, and I said, what? He said the hen has failed. And I looked out, and our Jake decoy was standing there, but the hen was laying plumb down on the ground. And
it's laid over.
I was thinking, well, it's pretty light. I don't want to have to run out in this wide open field and have these turkeys on this ridge. But I told Dad, I said maybe they'll just think it's a breeding hen with it being down on the ground. Maybe they won't be able to tell. But anyway, we just went with it. And, so breaking back into the fact that these gobblers gobbled, and they were right back on the hill behind us. They gobbled a few times, and every time it sounded like they were getting closer and closer. But finally, Dad did spot them, and he said they're coming to the field, and he said that they were big ones. And he saw them for a long time. It feels like forever. When somebody can see a turkey and you can't, it seems like forever.
Like an eternity.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling.
It seems like forever before you can see them. And you don't want to move. You don't want to move your head around because you're too afraid you're going to get picked off. But I finally seen these turkeys coming into view, and they were right in the field edge and coming right at the decoys. So, as I said from the first episode, Dad is a little hair-triggered when it comes to getting a shot. So I knew as soon as he gets a shot, he's going to fire it. But these turkeys were coming around several big briar bushes, and I was on them. I had a beautiful view of them. I had their head. Both their heads was just seemed like synchronized coming through there. Just same exact speed and everything. But they broke around the briars, and one of the turkeys kind of went into quarter strut. He kind of bowed his neck up, and the other one kind of stayed back a little bit. Well, I think Dad honestly just rushed a shot a little bit. He shot and missed, and then obviously you shoot and miss, anybody would go into a panic at that point. Well, they flew a little bit. One of the turkeys kept flying, and he shoots at it. Who knows where the hell the shot went at that one. But he shoots, and you can see the fire blow out of the gun. And he hadn't even seen that the other turkey had actually pitched back down and lit in the field. And,
40 yards away from him.
I told him, I said, shoot that one. There's still one out there. And he pulled down on it. You can see him get real serious, and when he fires that one, just does a front flip right there in the field and folds. And he went and got on that bird, and it like to flogged him to death. But that was actually, it was one of the best hunts I've ever had with my dad. That was his best bird to date. Had a huge beard, huge spurs, and no doubt the other one was probably just as big with them running together. That was probably third week of season or so, and they were still together. But unfortunately, I didn't have my tripod that morning. I had a monopod, or we might could have doubled. But I was tickled to death that he got that big gobbler that morning, his best bird to date. We got it done early. We had enough time, that we could enjoy it and really spend some time together. And I always enjoy hunting with Dad anyway, because I know he loves turkey hunting more than any kind of hunting in this world. So, we just took it all in. There was a heavy dew that morning, so by the time we got that bird and got him over and did some other footage with him, he's one of the roughest looking turkeys we'd ever had. But you know, it don't matter when you got that beard and them big hooks and you got a solid gobbler on your shoulder. It makes for a good hunt. But I guess next week we're going to take you on over with our old buddy Danny. Logue was going and doing the calling and filming for Danny, and as I said in the very first episode of the year, we just kept rolling. We kept having action every time we went, and luckily him and Danny was able to get on some birds. But I'll let Logue tell y'all about their trip next week in the next episode. But it's one that you for sure will want to watch. It was a pretty quick hunt from the time they got on these birds and got set up to when the shots fired. But with turkey hunting, that's the way it goes. I mean, you get set up on a bird, you're sneaking in, getting close to them anyway. So anyway, I'll hush here and I'll let Logue tell you about it in the next episode. But hope y'all enjoyed this one. Just keep watching.
Have no lust on me.